Okay, I'm going to tell you about a wonderful journey here. It's a wonderful journey about how this water becomes so powerful, I think, how it's influenced by the monatomic elements when it finally ends up at the source, at my source. And all of the facets, all of the elements that are included on how the water is exposed to everything as it goes down hundreds of miles. And this is key. This is all part of the getting to the secret sauce, if you will. So if you go up to Boone, North Carolina, up here, this is going to be the start point. After my research, 4.5 years, I think this is accurate. About right to where my pointer is, right up in here, almost on the Tennessee border right here. It's west of Boone, North Carolina. And it's a place called Howard's Creek Road. And there's a Baptist church right before you get to the Tennessee border, before the terrain starts going down. And that's the beginnings of Howard's Creek. Okay? And from here, it literally all goes down from here. But let's talk about the beginnings of this source. You've got something called Tater Hill, no kidding, Tater Hill, where they have the, I think it's the Southeast hang glide competitions there every year. They have a big event there every year. It's just one quick little mountain right over there. And then you have what I call the Miller Mountain, and then you have Rich Mountain. And it's all in this area right here, about where my pointer is, okay? The water there is, and I've lived on several continents. I've drank water in France. I've drinking water in Germany. I've drinking water in several continents, okay, all over the world. My girlfriend has lived in Iceland. She's lived in Scotland. She's lived in the Middle East. She's lived, because she was an oil rat, so to speak. She's lived all over the world on several more continents that I've been on. We both agree this water at this start point is the clearest, most purest water on earth, period. Period. When this water comes out of a well in that area I earlier described, it almost appears, it looks like silicone. It's so beautiful. And we all know that water is highly susceptible to vibrations, right? It is. It's designed that way. It's extremely and highly sensitive to vibrations. Well, what if you start with the world's purest, most clearest water? And I'm not kidding you, it is there. It really is there. As it travels down, then that pure, clear water will have the benefit of absorbing the vibrations of the terrain channel that it goes down. So after we start with the world's purest, clearest water, understand this water is under pressure as it falls down on the terrain. And the terrain just falls basically straight down. It kind of loops down like this and like this, but for practical purposes, it literally just kind of falls straight down like this, okay? So this water flows through this area right here of North Carolina, where there is an immense amount of quartz and quartz crystals. Ask the people at Rolex watches about quartz crystals under pressure. They create piezoelectric energy. So already we're taking the world's purest water, clearest, purest water, and we're putting it under pressure on quartz rock and quartz crystals, and it's exposed to a high level of piezoelectric energy. Quartz crystals, quartz and quartz crystals are harmonious to the human body, especially bones, okay? As the water continues down, it then goes through this area about right here I'm highlighting called the gem belt. especially sapphires and rubies in this area right here. The water continues. I mean, they're all positive and good things. It continues to go down, and then the water hits something called the Carolina Slate Belt, and it extends all this way kind of at a 45-degree angle. It's massive, okay? They call it the Slate Belt. Or they call it, hello, the North Carolina, South Carolina Gold Belt. You still have a lot of gold mines that are still active here. The Haley Gold Mine in South Carolina is still active there. But the water, after it's exposed to the piezoelectric energy of the quartz crystals under pressure, then it goes through what I call the precious gemstones ridge of North Carolina. Then it hits this gold belt. And from what I could measure by the terrain, for approximately about 51.5 kilometers, the water is exposed to this entire North Carolina, South Carolina gold belt. That's a lot of exposure, especially when it's under, under pressure. The water then continues to flow down, and it goes this way. It's going to hit somewhere right about here. After it goes through the gold belt, it kind of runs through the channel like this. And right about here where my cursor is, this is called the Milky Midlands. This is what I call the Milky Midlands right here. This is where I board my quarter horse. When you pour water into a bucket, the water appears as if it's milky when it first comes out. And it suddenly just kind of disappears. It dissipates. You're thinking, oh, the silt, or this is this, or it's that. And it's not oxygen bubbles. It's not water bubbles. It's the first signs of the monatomic influence of the monatomic gold. If you go into Switzerland, where they talk about the milky water, people living 120 years, everywhere in Italy, same thing, where you have these mountain regions, and on the bottom of it, they have this milky type water, and these people live a long time. It's because of the monatomic influence of the water from the gold harmonically. So you have, and this is one of the monatomic elements, the 5 groups here. Okay, you have gold, you have the five things here. This water is pure clear water, is exposed to all of that. It keeps moving down after it goes through the Milky Midlands, and then it runs into something that wasn't discovered. The other part of the monatomic elements is the transition group, the platinum group, okay? But nobody knew that the platinum group was there. I mean, we just didn't know it. Until in the year 2017, where my alma mater, the great people in the University of South Carolina, archaeologists, they found an abundance of platinum, an element associated with cosmic objects like asteroids or comets. Let's include ice from the Dome of God, okay? And you can see right on the Carolina Bay impacts, because I'll bet you there's a bunch right here they just missed. They didn't maybe test it. But look right in here where the water falls down, where my cursor is. See the tip of my cursor? This is the last point on the monatomic elements, the transition group, the rhodium, the osmium, the iridium, right in here. So it hits the gold, and then it hits the platinum. And I measured about 7 to 8 miles that it's influenced by this platinum. So there's one more element. We're talking about the journey of this beautiful, wonderful journey. North Carolina, South Carolina map. All right. It will have to work, right? So starts here, comes down, boom, 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 goes to the gold, goes to the Milky Midlands, hits the platinum belt, and then I'm not going to show you exactly where it is because this is not the right stream, but it's close to it. It's going to be close, going to be close. The Healing Water Streams is right here. It's actually not here. It's actually in a different direction. And I found it. Okay. It's either north, south, east, or west, right? I'm not going to tell you. But it's in this general vicinity right here. And it hits the Carolina Bay. And in the middle of the Carolina Bay is where the stream is, the Artesian Well, the Artesian Stream. And that's the source. So the Carolina Bay, you know, from the Dome of God, the 110 hertz, the jacked up the soil, and the secret sauce is the Carolina Bay. You have all this monatomic influence and positive influence on the quartz, the rubies, the sapphires, all of that. And then it drops down, and then you have the gold group, 51.5 miles of the kilometer, of the gold group, about 37.5 miles. And then 7 to 8 miles of the platinum influence. And then it hits in the middle of a Carolina Bay, where it's for lack of a better word, it's electrified and touched by the hand of God. Okay? That's lack of a better term. The point I'm getting at is this. Once it drops down, but we're not done. Mother Nature chimes in now. So let's go to the Saginaw Impact. It's easy to find the Saginaw Impact. You find out where the glove is of Michigan. See, here's the glove. And right about in here is Saginaw, Michigan, right in this area right here. So if you draw, this is an energy center. This is a ley line. This is a light line. Get out of there. And if you draw a straight line from the impact center right here, right up in this area, and you come straight down where the world's purest water starts, you come right here, and you come straight down where the world's purest water starts. You come down it's about 30 more miles, and it goes right through on a straight line. See, it's on a straight line on that ley line, about 30 more miles, and right there, and you hit the Brown Mountain Lights Range. No kidding. No kidding. This light line, this ley line, this energy line goes right through the center of the obscure Brown Mountain Light Range. There's nothing there, but it does go right through the middle of it. I think what you're seeing there is piezoelectric energy from the quartz being activated by this energy line, this light line. There's a reason they call them light lines, because they light up. That's my opinion. That's why, the Brown Mountain Lights, same way. Then we go down, we hit the North Carolina, South Carolina Gold Belt, and bam-o, we're right on the site, right on the Healing Stream site, right there, right on that light line, that ley line. I wanted to show you something, though. You have North Air Force Base on about 4 miles, actually it's about 5 miles from on that light line, okay? A lot of Air Force bases for some reason. You keep going straight down, you hit the Carolina Bay source. Keep going down. We keep going down a straight line. We run offshore. And then it runs into right here. Homestead Air Force Base, straight line. See how it's all straight line? Boom, 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 boom. Homestead Air Force Base, but it's actually not Homestead Air Force Base. Homestead Air Force Base is a little bit off from the light line, the ley line. But what the ley line is on is, wait for it, Coral Castle. No kidding. Coral Castle. Now, I have not measured it past that, but it does go through the heart of Cuba and it keeps going, right? It's a perfect line, perfect energy line there, ley line. Going from the Saginaw impact, right about here, coming straight down in a perfect line, right there. So Mother Nature kicks in with her light line, the energy from that, where the light line intersects in the heart of the Carolina Bay. You have your powerful water source. So that's, the water has that much of a harmonic influence from all of those monatomic elements, from all of those elements and precious rubies and quartzes and sapphires and everything else, but mostly the gold belt and the platinum group. And it's electrified. And let me show you something about the electrification of water. And I think our ancestors knew what they were talking about. Holy water. And then I'll go into that. So that's the journey that this beautiful journey that this water takes in all of the fantastic elements that it gets a harmonic influence from, a positive, very, very positive and strong harmonic influence from. You then have the secret sauce of the Carolina Bay, right? From the Dome of God, the fire ice from the Dome of God kicking in and electrifying the water. And then you have Mother Earth kicking in on her light line.